Let's get ready to rumble.
Yes, we're back to episode 142 of the Hibs Rumble. It's me, your host as always, Liam, and I'm joined by the beautiful Mr. Shaun Corrigan, who's eating toast, jam, honey and banana, and also by the newest addition to the McLennan family, his little baby Benny. Baby Benny the Dachshund.
Boo, Benny Beningame, boo, harsh bastard, boo.
Yeah, to be fair,
on you. Shame on you.
I didn't think about Benny Beningame because we named him after the Elton John song, Benny and the Jets. So it's not spelt like Benny Beningame, it's got two N's and an IE at the end, not just BNI.
Okay.
So, if you can forgive me for that, to be fair.
We'll see.
Or will we change your name to like Josh Mulligan or something?
Just
I don't know.
Campbell or something like that.
He doesn't quite look like a Josh, does he?
No.
Nah. You look more like a Benny. You're a good boy. Anyway, I'm going to hand him over to his mum. Sorry, mate. How are we, Shaun? How you getting on, mate?
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Fantastic. Hibs are winning. Elie Youan's winning.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm happy.
Another good win for us at the weekend there, obviously. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously live on Premier Sports with the incredible TV personality of Michael Stewart commentating on the game, the most boring man in football.
I'd rather listen to Fraser Fivey on Hibs TV, to be honest.
I would rather listen to what would I rather listen to, Shaun? Give me something bad.
Me.
Yes, I'd rather listen to Shaun every week talking about nonsense.
What about Craig
especially
Leach? Would you rather listen to Craig Leach?
Nah, I wouldn't rather listen to him. Especially talking about when the Heart Celtic game at the weekend, you were going, Celtic are not going to lose. Celtic are not going to lose. And then they get scalped at Tynecastle. And I'm like, oh no, please don't win the league, Hearts. I don't want that to happen.
Mate, we're nine games into the season or something.
Yeah, let's not talk any more about them. Let's talk about the Hibs. Shaun, Aberdeen is always a tough place to go, regardless of the form or the results that they've had recently. Obviously, they came off the back of two really good results in the league, a 4-0 against Dundee and a 1-0 away to St Mirren. But then they go over to Athens on Thursday and they get absolutely thumped 6-0. Were you expecting Hibs to kind of go up there and take the game to them, or did you think that maybe Aberdeen would show a little bit of a reaction? Is there anything to suggest from you that you kind of expected Aberdeen to come out and give us a bit of a go?
If anything, their Thursday night game against your Greek favourites made me more concerned about Sundays rather than less concerned, because very rarely does a team get pumped 2 games in a row, 2 weeks in a row. The only thing that concerned me with yesterday's game prior to it kicking off was Jasper Carlton up against Chris Cadham. I thought that was going to be really, really tough. I had absolutely no doubt that we would get the win, though, and even more so when I saw the side that David Gray went with. Listen, David Gray hasn't suffered defeat away to Aberdeen as yet, to my knowledge.
No, he's not, has he?
The 3 wins and a draw is his record at Pittodrie. So
No, we got beat last year.
Was it not 2-2?
No, the Nisbet game, they beat us 1-0.
That doesn't count. Nisbet scored. He used to play for Hibs. It counts a Hibs one.
And also we finished third, so
who's the real winners? Probably them.
Yeah, probably them, to be honest. But no, I mean, I was kind of the same ilk as you. Like, I was fairly confident of the team going up there and managing to get a result. yeah, we've not been great for large parts of the season, but we saw that at the start of the season, obviously with the European games, that we've got a squad that's more than capable of putting in real good performances. And we did that at the start of the season in the European games, and then obviously we had Livingston at Easter Road last week. It was a comprehensive victory. There was absolutely no shadow of doubt about that, and I think that it's probably given the players the lift that they needed, and maybe the chance to allow them to try and kickstart their season, because like I said earlier, Shaun, it's not always easy to go up there and win, regardless of the form and the run that Aberdeen are on. You need to go up there and play well to come back with the points, basically, and we did do. Obviously, you look at the starting lineup, and Klidje's in there again. Were you happy to see him retain his place from the game against Livingston?
Yeah, I think he fully deserved it as well. I actually can't believe I forgot we got beat at Aberdeen last season. I'm just looking at that, completely forgot. But yeah, I was very, very happy to see him in the starting lineup. And what filled me with even more confidence is the strength of our bench.
Yeah.
So like, we brought on Elie, Youan, we brought on Martin Boyle, we brought on Chaiwa, we brought on Campbell, we brought on Bashiri, and then we still had Hoylett on the bench. We still had Obita on the bench,
Yep,
as well, who at times you could probably argue should be starting, depending on the opponent. So, yeah, we obviously made it tough for ourselves, like we always do, because that's the Hibs way. But other than a small spell in the game in the first half and a small spell in the second half, I wasn't really concerned, and I didn't really see us conceding, to be honest. Obviously, we did right at the death. Very, very silly. But I just felt confident. And then the
yeah,
chances, if anything, we were creating all these really, really good chances. Probably wouldn't surprise a lot of people if we did end up finishing the game 1-1 or end up getting beat. But I didn't have any doubt we were continuing to create the chances, and ultimately we were going to be able to put one away at the end, and thankfully we did.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the chances that we created were really good chances, and you would probably be able to argue that on another day it could have been 4, 5, maybe even 6 goals for Hibs. I think that it's maybe something that we need to look at being a little bit more clinical, because yeah, I know we beat Livingston 4-0 last week, but there was a lot of good chances in that game that we could have had it put to bed by half time. Remember, we were only 1-0 up at half time last week. And, you're looking at that Aberdeen side, and they've got a lot of real good talents in there. It's not a bad squad of players. It's maybe a bad team gel at the moment and team bond, but that's not a team that's got shite players. Those players are good. They've got good pedigree. A lot of them know this league. A lot of them have been at really big teams as well. I think the boy came from AC Milan, and your boy Jesper Karlsson has played for some big teams on the continent as well. So you wouldn't have been surprised if they were able to turn it on at some point, but they just weren't able to click. But I do feel like it's maybe a little bit of a problem that we're not being clinical enough. I'm not too sure what that then comes down to, because I feel like we're making the chances, but then is it, you don't want it all to be landing on top of Thibault Klidje. I don't think Kieran Bowie is firing on all cylinders at the moment either. So I'm not too sure how you fix that. Considering we gave Livingston a scalping, and it probably sounds silly for me to say that we're not being clinical enough, but we've scored 6 goals in our last 2 league games. But I think when you're looking at it as a supporter and you can see the chances that we're passing up, it's frustrating, of course. And I know that if we scored all the chances, we'd be top of the league by a canter, and we'd win the league by February. I know it's not realistic, but we need to start being a bit more clinical.
Yeah, I completely agree. We obviously battered Livingston. We've battered the 2 bottom sides in the league, performance-wise, and we've created loads of chances. I think that if we were to play the weekend's game over again, I think 3 or 4 of those missed chances go in. I
Yeah,
think it was just one of those games where we've hit the wrong side of the post. And like you've got the one where was it Klidje and then Bowie? They have
yeah. I think it was
three
Klidje,
attempts.
Bowie, and Mulligan, or Klidje, Bowie, and
Uh,
McGrath. Or something.
I think Klidje has 2 chances back to back, and then Bowie then has a chance, and it was just last ditch defending from Aberdeen.
Sure.
Like,
I think
oppor-
the offside also probably could have gone either way.
yeah, I think opportunities like that, I feel can go one way or
The
another
frustrating
in
thing
most
for me though is,
instances.
Shaun, is that we needed that second goal for large parts of the game, and we were passing up those opportunities. That was for me the frustrating bit, because we were only 1-0 up, and in an instant, I mean, Aberdeen did threaten a couple of times. I don't think that they were by any means good enough to take anything from the game on Saturday. It's not me bashing Aberdeen. I just think that their level of performance was on the floor, to be honest with you. But you know that at 1-0, the game can change like that, and you need to be taking these chances. And I don't want to say we got out of jail a little bit with the Youan goal, but and we'll talk about the Youan goal a little bit later. But I do think that they were committing a lot of players forward at that time, and we were finding the spaces in behind and stuff. And it sounds like I'm moaning about us scoring a goal and us winning a game, but I'm looking at it there and I'm thinking, if we go and play a team that's a bit more clinical in their nature and is able to punish us a little bit more often than Aberdeen did, like this side could be in a wee bit of bother.
Yeah, no, and that's where taking your chances obviously becomes pivotal when you're up against a side that's of a better quality than you, and obviously we will be up against a side like that this week. But for me, we are creating the chances. It's easy to say I'd be more concerned if we weren't getting into those positions and we weren't creating those chances. I do think against a higher quality opposition, well, or even not even a higher quality opposition, because Aberdeen, like you said, have got good individuals. It's just not clicking. I think if we come up against a better defensively structured side, we're probably not able to create as many chances as that, and therefore we do need to be more clinical. What gives me the confidence from the weekend is not only, were we creating the chances, but we managed to come out with the victory. Whereas so often this season, we've created loads of chances and then we've conceded at the
Yeah,
wrong times, and then the game swung against us, and then we've ended up dropping 3 points, and it's turned into one or it's turned into zero. I was very critical of David Gray's lack of um, changes in game against Hearts. Obviously, the game, it was 0-0 at that point, so the game was there for the taking, and we
yeah.
needed to make the changes to have a positive impact on the match. Whereas at the weekend, we were having a positive impact on the match. We just needed to weather the storm and make the right
It's about
changes at the right
exploiting
time.
those areas as well, right? Because, like I said, Aberdeen were committing a lot of players forward, and the shape that they were playing on Sunday allowed us to find those pockets in behind, and
Yeah,
that's
well,
what
that's
a lot of our
exactly,
second half chances came from.
yeah, that's exactly kind of where I was going with that. Is we were 1-0 up in this game at the weekend, so therefore it allows David Gray to be reactionary to the changes that Aberdeen make rather than be proactive like he should have been in the derby, because we
Yeah,
were 1-0 up in this game. So by him reacting to the Aberdeen changes, it allowed him to make the right changes at the right times in this instance. Whether he would make those same changes at 0-0, I don't know, and whether if it was 0-0 it would be similar to the derby, I don't know, and thankfully I won't need to know that. But because we were 1-0 up and Aberdeen had to kind of go for it, considering where they are in the league and their level of performance in recent weeks and the scorelines that they've had, he made the right changes. Boyle coming on when he did, Elie Youan coming on when he did, taking Bowie off was the right thing to do, although Bowie was much improved yesterday. Having Klidje and Boyle as an outlet and then changing it to Boyle and Youan gives us that pace where at times they were leaving one or two at the back. So we were
yeah,
2v1, 2v2, which was great. And when you're up against a side like that and we've got the strength and depth on the bench that we had, bringing Campbell on was the right change because we needed a wee bit more
Sure.
legs.
I thought
Chayo
Campbell
as
was
well.
great when he came on.
And I think those were the right changes that allowed us to weather the storm from Aberdeen and make them think twice about coming forward because of the strength in our attack.
Mm-hmm. One of the players that you mentioned there, Thibault Klidje, again, a real good performance from him. His goal, he took it brilliantly, didn't he? It's a good tackle in the middle of the park from Warner Hora. The ball falls to Josh Mulligan, who pokes it through for Thibault Klidje, and he shows real grit and determination and strength to hold off two Aberdeen players. And it's as if he hits it while he's tripping over and falling down, but he gets the break of the green, he gets the rub of the green, and it finds its way into the back of the net. Do you think that Thibault Klidje is now going to start becoming our main outlet for goals?
I think now Thibault Klidje could become the greatest Hibs striker there's ever been.
Well, let's be careful with that, because you say that more or less every week about someone else.
Yeah, well, if it's not Elie, it'll be Thibault Klidje. No, listen, I do think he has a certain level of quality that will allow him to shine in this Hibs side, and it's good to see that he's now doing that.
Starting to look like a £1 million player.
Yeah, correct. Listen, he's got some leap on him for a guy that's smaller than you, which is some going.
I'm not. I'm 6'1".
So yeah, I think he'll be a good asset to us, and I think having Bowie. Listen, I'm still gutted that we didn't bring Lyndon Dykes in, but having Bowie up top with Klidje, and then having the likes of Boyle and Elie Youan as well, it gives us a goodish balance in the attacking options, where I think that Klidje will be allowed to now shine, and hopefully, like I said on the last episode, he starts to get a wee bit more runny games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 2 goals in 2 games isn't going to harm that at all. And the level of performance that he's been putting in is excellent. I really like him. I really like the look of him. And there's been quite a lot of chat on social media, Shaun, about, this is why David Gray hasn't rushed him in, yada, yada, yada. And I think I'm sick of this point scoring nonsense from Hibs fans towards other Hibs fans. The boy wasn't getting game time. When he was coming on for like 15 minutes at a time, and he wasn't having a chance to impact the game. And that affects people's opinions in terms of whether they think he's good enough. Why is he only getting 15 minutes if we've paid £1 million for him? Now he's starting to get the game time and longer on the park, and he's showing why we paid the money for him. But then there's people that are going, oh, well, I told you so, I told you to wait. That annoys me, by the way. It annoys me, but I'm really glad that he is starting to pay back his fee, because I think, and I do think that the way that David Gray's handled it in terms of staggering his minutes and maybe kind of getting the fans to adjust their expectations by doing so, has then taken a little bit of pressure off him, and he's then able to start to shine.
Yeah, I think, listen, you see a lot of points scoring on Twitter, mainly Twitter, and it is frustrating to see, because why can't we just enjoy a player when he's doing well, and why can't we just encourage a player when they're not doing so well? And these same people that are now being like, I told you so, we're probably, or in a couple of weeks, if Klidje hasn't scored, probably calling for Boyle to get back into the team and say that Boyle should have never been dropped. So it's like, what side of the fence do you want to be on?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, players are, especially strikers, are going to go through tough spells, and their form is going to dip at times, and their performances are going to dip as well. What we need to do as a club is make sure that we're getting the balance right, and the expectation, like you said, is correct. If we are now starting to see what Thibault Klidje can offer this side, that is great. Now, whether his form drops or not, goes back to what I was saying. We've got players like Boyle, Youan, Hoylett on the bench as well. Hoylett came on the other week, scored 2. Elie, Youan came off the bench, scored. Boyle came off the bench, played well. And Boyle's not been playing that well in recent weeks, and we've not really seen Elie, Youan in weeks either. So, listen, we just, regardless of what people think they know, or maybe they do know, it's just a case of let's just enjoy players when they're playing well, and if one's not playing well, maybe someone else will come in and take their place and perform well.
No, I completely agree with you. Do you think it's something today with not Livingston? Do you think it's something today with Aberdeen and Elie Youan? Do you think he just likes to play against them? Because remember it happened last season as well. Like he was out in the cold for weeks and weeks, and then he came in to the game at Pittodrie and scored.
Not many players, not many Scottish players, never mind foreign players, like going up to Aberdeen and playing on that windy pitch in the middle of nowhere where the wind catches you. But Elie Youan seems to absolutely love it.
And he was reunited with his best pal as well.
His best pal, the Flag.
Yeah.
There's no greater relationship.
That was so funny. When I was watching it on the telly, I kind of thought to myself a little bit. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if he did that?
I thought the same, and I was like, surely he'll not have the audacity to do it after barely playing this season. But fair fucks to him. That's really good to see.
Just before we go on to his goal, what is a better comeback? Him getting into the Hibs side or his hairline?
If I had a comeback like his hairline, I'd probably be just as happy and waving flags about. That's for
you
sure.
Get a flag for your back garden.
I just start waving it about every time I see a wee bit more growth. That flag will never be in the air, let me tell you.
It's going to be 6 feet under.
May as well be.
You wonder why he's got a hat on, Ramblers. His hairline is stinking. No, I thought Elie Youan was great when he came on.
Curtains to cover your fullbacks, don't you?
Yeah, mate. I'm lucky. I'm lucky in that respect because my hairline is stinking as well, but I'm able to hide it a bit better than you. I thought he was great when he came on. Elie Youan, a real thorn in their side, and again, a lot of the times when we're talking about Elie Youan and these weird cameos that he's been having, we're saying, oh, he looked like the Elie Youan of old. He looked like the Elie Youan of old. Like when he played against Kilmarnock and he got his goal, when he played against Midtjylland and he set up Rocky at Easter Road. But we're saying, oh, he looks like the old Elie Youan. He looks good again. Not good again, but he looks back to his best and like happy to be on the park playing for Hibs. So it was good to see him come on and play with that sort of freedom. And obviously his goal's fantastic, and it reminds you of a certain Dominique Malonga against the same side at Easter Road about 10 years ago. Really good work from him in the middle of the park to kind of wriggle away from 3 defenders, and then he takes Dimitar Mitov for a cup of tea before he slots it past them. But you know, from our perspective, it's a great goal to score, but from an Aberdeen perspective, you're absolutely fucking tearing your hair out because that is an awful goal to concede. Yeah,
the harsh reality of Elie Youan is he's a fantastically talented individual who, for maybe 3/4 of the time he's been at Hibs, he's just not been at it. 3/4, 3/4, it's the same thing. He's just not been at it. I'm one of Elie Youan's biggest advocates and one of his biggest fans. And I want to see Elie Youan firing on all cylinders. Well, all Hibs fans should want to see a happy Elie Youan firing on all cylinders. Maybe not all Hibs fans do actually want to see that, but it goes back to my point earlier on about wanting Hibs players to do well when they're in a rich veiny form. If he's happy and he's in a good place, he's performing well. Listen, he's clearly not happy about his lacking minutes, and for whatever reason that might be, whether that's training performances or maybe he's now getting away from his injury worries. He needs to take his opportunity when he gets it, and he's certainly done that at the weekend. I was slightly concerned for about a millisecond when he had that heavy touch with his left foot, but
he took it to the keeper's right.
it worked in his favour and took it further away for the keeper, and he got the finish. And I've probably got just as much faith in Elie Youan as Josh Campbell does. I
Yeah,
don't know if you've
I've
seen the
seen
clip,
that.
but as soon as Elie Youan takes it past the first defender and he's still maybe 40 yards away from goal, Josh Campbell's
Josh Campbell's got his arms in the air.
He's celebrating at the halfway line. So, Elie Youan is a player that needs that level of love and support, not only from his teammates, but by the fans and the manager. So hopefully,
And it looks like he got
continues.
it from the fans at full time anyway. The fans looked like they were absolutely delighted for him and stuff. And I'm delighted for him. He's one of the most exciting players at the club, probably one of the most talented players at the club. So to have him hopefully now back fully firing would be excellent for us. I don't actually think that that was a mistake, that heavy touch, by the way. I think that when he's come into the box, I think he's just trying to shift Mitov's angle.
Well,
and maybe gamble that either Mitov is going to come out and the touch will take it past him, or Mitov will then have to shift his feet and the rest of the goal will open up. And that's kind of basically what happened, is that he took it to his left. I don't think Mitov knew whether it was Pancake Tuesday or Sheffield Wednesday, and then the rest of the goal seemed to open up, and it looked like a fairly simple finish, albeit on his left foot. But he did really well to score it, and then Josh Campbell gets one ruled off by VAR, which I think rightfully so. But it's just it's a crap way to lose a goal. Martin Boyle's coming back towards the ball, and it's his trailing heel that's offside. He's not gaining an advantage or anything, but listen, the rules are the rules. And then, Shaun, it's a bit of a calamity at the Hibs end.
Yeah.
Like 20 seconds later.
Yeah, it's very Hibs. Obviously, just lastly on the Elie Youan bit, we know he's obviously an avid rambler, so hopefully he can let us know whether he meant that or not. I'm sure he'd be delighted to let us know.
I think he would tell you that he meant it.
Aye, well, any player worth their salt would. Listen, it would have been really good if we'd kept a clean sheet and it had finished 3-0. But you're right, it was a bit of a calamity at the back. And the most important thing is it came that late that Aberdeen couldn't do anything more. So
I didn't actually think that once that had gone in, I didn't think that we were going to concede again anyway.
Well, no, and if we did, that would be very, very Hibs of us. I think it's good that it came as late as it did, because if that came with like 10 minutes to go, then it maybe would have changed the direction of the game for me. But
yeah,
I think thankfully it came as late as it did. The players and the staff are clearly frustrated at conceding a goal based on the interviews and that since the game finished. So hopefully just getting the 3 points and getting back down the road while we've created all the chances that we did is good enough.
2-1, 3-0, both get you 3 points. And that's the main thing. Shaun, I believe you've got a quiz for us.
Yes, I do. I've actually it's a two-parter, but the second part will be after the Rangers game. So everyone can
don't go anywhere because it's
anticipation ahead of the next one. So what we're doing,
hope it's as good as last week's.
I don't know. I guess you'll tell me.
Yeah, I will actually.
Kind of higher or lower, but also not kind of higher or lower.
Okay.
So I think I've got 9, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, I've got 9 matchups, 9 head-to-heads of Hibs appearances. And all you need to do, Liam, to get 9 points is correctly tell me which one of the 2 players has higher Hibs appearances.
Okay.
Okay?
I got you.
So we will start off with Ofer Marciano versus Nick Colgan. Who has more Hibs appearances?
Now, for me, Nick Colgan was the goalie when I first started going to Hibs. I don't remember an awful lot about him. I think they were maybe there for similar amounts of time, but I'm going to lean towards offer Marciano because I know that he was there for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 seasons. I'll say Marciano.
And you would be correct to say
Yes.
Marciano by 4 appearances.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, next on the list is probably 2 of most people's favourite Hibs fullbacks. And no, it's not Stephen Whittaker, unfortunately, Liam. It's David Murphy and David Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Who has more Hibs appearances?
I think David Gray, to be honest with you.
And you'd be correct.
Yes, you
By
love that.
33 appearances.
Yeah, I feel like David Gray was at the club for a lot longer as a player than David Murphy was.
Next, we have Rob Jones versus Gary Smith.
I don't think Rob Jones wasn't at us for as long as people think. How long was it? He was maybe there for, what was it, 2 full seasons he was at Easter Road?
That's just something you'll have to decide if you're right or wrong. I'm not going to give you any clues.
Because I think that I'm sure he joined the season that we won the CIS Cup, I think. And then he was there with the season that we had the green stripe. I'm going to say Gary Smith, but I think it'll be fairly close.
There is 72 appearances difference, and Gary Smith is the right answer.
Oh, yes.
So you're 3 for 3.
I'm getting there.
3 for 3. Liam Fontaine.
Mm-hmm.
Big fontaine of knowledge. Versus,
I'll mind that.
versus Frank Sozzi.
See, again, I don't know how long Frank Sozzi was at us for, but I know Fontaine joined. I think he joined this season, the first season in the Championship. Played that season, the following season, the season we were promoted. First season in the Premiership. Fontaine.
By 10 appearances, you're 4 for 4. It's Liam Fontaine.
Oh, get in there.
Okay. Next, Marouane Zamama versus Daryl Horgan.
That is a tough one. Because Zamama was at us for years, but he spent quite a lot of time out on loan, right?
Zamama?
Or was that, am I thinking of Benji?
I don't remember. Benji definitely wasn't out on loan.
Benji was on loan at some point.
I'm going to have to check that because I do
Yeah, I'm sure he went out on loan at some point. And then when we had the central badge with the white away kit, the season that we last won at Celtic Park.
Was he out,
sure
on,
he went
loan
out on loan
when he had his family difficulties?
I don't know.
That's how I'll word it.
But I think that was...
Yeah, it was. It was when he had his family difficulties. He was out on loan for 1 season.
Okay. Right, who was the players? Zamama and Horgan?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really tough. I think Zamama maybe edges it.
Does he?
Zamama?
Oh, aye. Benji went out on loan as well for eight matches. So you're going Zamama?
I think so.
There is 9 appearances in it, and Zamama has more.
Yes!
5 for 5.
How many is there? How many are you doing?
9. There's 9 rounds.
Come on, then.
There's 9 rounds.
We're more than halfway there.
Okay, this one we have 2 of every Hibs fan's favourite former defensive midfielders in Jimmy Jago and Mark Milligan.
Right. Mark Milligan was not around for very long. He
But
was...
Jimmy Jago.
Yeah, Jimmy Jago was around for longer.
But did he play?
I don't know. I think I get the feeling that Jimmy Jago was at us for like a calendar year. Did he not join us in the January and then leave the following January? And I think Mark Milligan was a January till the summer, and then we never renewed his deal. I think. I'm going to say Jago.
I'm just checking Mark Milligan because I'm sure it was a full season. Okay, so Jimmy Jago is your answer.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jimmy Jago.
And you would be correct by 14 games.
Yes.
14 games.
I'm incredibly good at this, Shaun.
One was a season and a half, and one was a season. So that's where your extra games have came in.
Oh, right, well, so I was kind of right in the same sort of time frame. One was there for half a season less.
Aye, kind of. Okay, next. Alan O'Brien or Sam Morrow?
I think that's pretty easy. I think that's Sam Morrow.
That's two throwback games. Throwback players there. Do you remember Sam Morrow? I just feel like he always tried to be Derek Riordan.
Yeah, he was Derek Riordan from Wish, wasn't
he? Right, Sam Morrow is your answer.
Yeah, Sam Morrow's my answer.
By 10 appearances, Sam Morrow is correct.
Oh, mate.
So you've got two.
Mate, am I getting half of these wrong and you're just saying I'm getting them right to boost my ego?
You've got 2 to go. Andrew Shinney. Or at the time of recording, Nicky Cadden.
Andrew Shinney or Nicky Cadden? How long was Shinney with us though? Did Shinney just sign the season that we got promoted?
You ain't getting clues, remember?
I remember him playing an awful lot that season. But Nicky Cadden's definitely not had a full season of games. I think it'll be very, very, very close. Oh, Shaun. Does the right answer have a brother that's also played in Scotland?
Yes.
Bastard.
Yes.
Oh, John McGinn.
Now, is the answer the brother of someone else that's also played for Hibs? I guess you'll have to wait and see.
I think this is the one I'm going to trip out on. I think it's Nicky Cadden.
So, Andrew Shinney and Nicky Cadden have 10 appearances difference.
It'll be Shinney then.
And Nicky Cadden is correct.
Oh, fucking yes!
8 for 8.
Whew.
Okay, last one. Amadou Conte
Yep.
or Grant Holt?
He played a lot that season. Grant Holt. I don't know how long Amadou Conte was there for. But I don't remember Conte playing an awful lot. He played in that shirt that was horrible, that horrible material.
Well, he was definitely at Hibs. I'll give you that. There's a clue.
He was at Hibs. Was he at Hibs when he made these appearances for Hibernian?
Just.
Right, okay. That really helps. Oh. Grant Holt did play a lot that season. But is one season going to be enough? Because Conte would have played in Europe.
Yeah, all those loads of games in Europe.
Oh,
If you get this right, you're 9 for 9, son. 9 for 9.
I know, that's why I'm taking my time on it. I want to say Grant Holt. I'm going to say Grant Holt.
Okay. There is 8 appearances difference.
Mm-hmm.
If you had said Conte, you would have been incorrect.
Yes! Come on.
9.
I have never been prouder of myself. That is incredible.
Well very, very well done.
That's incredible, and I'm absolutely buzzing. I am buzzing for that. That was a great quiz, Shaun.
Well, hopefully
I'm
you
looking forward.
look forward to the next one.
Yeah, well, I will be looking forward to the next one. But before we talk about Rangers on Wednesday, will we answer some listener questions?
Now it's time to answer the Hibs Ramble listener questions.
Okay, just a few today. Before we jump on to the Rangers game, John McIntosh, of course, asks, "What's for dinner?" and then just puts, "Yes."
I don't know what I'm having for dinner yet.
I'm going to be born and also say I don't know what I'm having for dinner.
Sorry, John.
Yeah, I had a pakora pizza on Saturday night and it was a belter.
Can't even remember what I had last night. Never mind Saturday.
I had a steak pie last night. Steak pie and mashed totties.
Steak pies, elite.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry, John, but I'm not too sure. I might have the dog for dinner. Maybe. That, for legal reasons, is a joke. Harvey Scott says, who partners Klidje for Rangers? I thought him and Boyle worked really well together. I think that Klidje and Boyle do work really well together, and I think they bounce off well off each other. But my caveat to that is I think we're going to need Kieran Bowie's physicality up against the Rangers' defence. I think that we'll need him to rough them up and then allow Klidje to get in behind. I don't think he'll finish with Klidje and Bowie on the park. I think it'll be Boyle and Klidje or Boyle and Youan, like we saw at the weekend. But I would imagine that Bowie will start with Klidje on Wednesday. What do you think?
I would be very, very surprised if the starting 11 changes.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. I think Barlasser was good as well. We've not even touched on that. Thought Dan Barlasser was good.
The only change that could potentially happen at an absolute push would be Chaiwa coming in for Cadden and Mulligan going out wide right, but I can't see that either. I think it'll be the same starting 11, and it is.
You look at Cadden, and we did speak about this last week, Shaun. Is that I think he's maybe starting to come onto a little bit of form again, Chris Cadden. Maybe needed a little bit more confidence. Again, I think a good performance on Sunday will help that confidence. Because I think the last thing that we need is to push Josh Mulligan out to right wing back because he's so much more effective in that middle of the park. So that should be where we're aiming to keep him. I thought Chaiwa was really good when he came on, but I don't think you can drop Barlasser. Don't think you can drop Mulligan, and I don't think you can drop McGrath. So, like you, I think I would be very, very surprised to see any changes at all. And finally, before we talk about the Rangers game, Spot asks, Boyle seriously needs to stop being offside. European place is going to be tight again this season. It's going to start taking virtual points off us.
Vital?
No, maybe I do think that I don't really know how you fix that though.
Well, if FIFA have their way and they change the offside ruling, then Boyle will probably score about 40 goals a season.
Yeah, truth. I think it's just one of these things that you need to work on timings and stuff, and He's just kind of been caught in the wrong place at the wrong time a couple of times, but there's been a lot of times this season where he has made the right run at the right time and we've managed to benefit from it. So it's all kind of swings and roundabouts, these things even themselves out over the course of a season, for lack of a better cliche, Shaun.
Yeah.
Will we chat quickly about Rangers and their trip to Easter Road?
Quickly about how we're going to beat Rangers.
Yeah.
We'll probably keep it to that.
Yeah. So Rangers are next up on Hibs' schedule, obviously this Wednesday, 29th of October at Easter Road, under the new guidance of former Sheffield Wednesday head coach Danny Rowe. They won at the weekend. Yeah, their 18th choice manager, who turned them down 3 times before accepting the job. They got a good win against Kilmarnock at the weekend there. They probably needed it after their defeat in Europe against Brann in Norway. I feel like it's a real good chance for us, Shaun, to go out there and put a marker down, because last 2 games have been better. We'll need to be even better on Wednesday, but I feel like at the times that Hibs are in and the times that Rangers are in, it's not out with the realms of possibility that we can go out at Easter Road on Wednesday night and take the points.
Yeah, I mean, we faced them when they were in an even worse position at Ibrox, and you could argue David Gray gave them too much respect. And lo and behold, their quality shone through with Raskin on the day. Listen, they're a very, very talented side. They're not as good as they probably have been, but they still have.
They're not as good as they should be. I think similarly to Aberdeen,
yeah,
they're not as good as they should be.
But when you've got Diamonde, Raskin, and Asgard in the middle of the park, it's a tough ask to go toe to toe with that. It's looking at the Rangers side, actually, I wonder if David Gray will bring in Jordan Obita to maybe have a wee bit more defensive stability on the left side. I hope he doesn't, because I want Nicky Cadden's creativity, regardless of whether to have his right wing back or right centre half of a 3. I was speaking to one of my mates today, and listen, obviously we speak about how reactionary football fans are, so I was expecting them to be like, oh, we're back, we're going to pump you on Wednesday, the Rangers are back, but a lot of Rangers fans are actually still very, very concerned. It was only a matter of time.
They've got a bit of PTSD.
Aye, it was only a matter of time until they won a game. Never mind, they won a game at Ibrox. They've now done that to their little Ayrshire brothers. I
saw a stat, right, and it was before they won yesterday. It was Ange Postecoglou has had 2 jobs and won a European Cup, or has been sacked twice and had a European Cup since the last time Rangers won at home.
Wow. But a lot of Rangers
fans, a league game at home anyway,
still aren't convinced. Obviously, a lot of the support didn't want their new gaffer in, very similar to them not wanting Russell Martin. Will they get a managerial bounce? Hopefully they don't, and hopefully they suffer defeat in Leith on Wednesday. But a lot of the Rangers camp are still very, very unhappy at the moment. But there's one thing that'll change that, and that's winning games, and hopefully that doesn't start on Wednesday. I
think it's a real good time to play them as well, to be honest, Shaun, is how soon it's been since that game at Ibrox, and you could tell what we needed to change. And I think David Gray's been good at that in his managerial tenure so far, is maybe taking learnings from previous games against certain teams and implementing them the next time we play them. So hopefully...
have they got the full away stand?
I've not got a clue, to be honest with you. I've not read anything that says that they don't. I'm not too sure if the allocation cut that we did last season carried over into this season. It was hardly a cut anyway. It was like 2 sections at the bottom, the front and the bottom.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a poor cut. But
my mate can find out.
Listen, I think that if we can go out there and play as well as we can do, as well as we have shown this season, I think that one, it's going to be a very, very, very entertaining game, and two, I think there's a real possibility that we come away with the points on Wednesday night, and I'm really looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a real good spectacle.
I think it's got potential to be a very, very good night. Any game under the lights at Easter Road tends to be of a good entertainment level. Whether it goes our way or not, it's a different conversation. But although they won at the weekend, obviously, like I said, everything's still not well in the Rangers camp. So hopefully we can take advantage of that. We should have taken advantage of it at Ibrox, and we were just a shadow of our usual selves.
Mm-hmm.
But I think winning the last two games and the lively performances that we've started to have again, with it being at home, I think it makes for a real tasty atmosphere, which is good.
Can I get a quick prediction from you before we wrap up?
3-2 Hibernian.
I'm going to go 4-0 Hibs.
Okay.
And we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon, Shaun. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And if you've got this far, thank you so much for listening. If you don't already, make sure you get us on our socials. We are at the Hibs Ramble on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you get your podcasts. If you could leave us a review, that really helps us out. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll catch you after the Rangers game, maybe after the Rangers and the Livy game, depending on timings and schedules and whatever. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you later. Bye.
Let's get ready to rumble.